available principal, he's going to be great. We got waters covered.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Mandy Simpson. I'm chair of the Nampa Board of Trustees of the Nampa School District. The purpose of this special meeting is for the trustees to receive input from guests, community members, students, and the parents or guardians of Nampa School District students on the question of whether to continue the policy of requiring masks at school. We are grateful for students, staff, and parents, 100 in total, who have shared their thoughts and ideas with us in writing. The public can see those comments in our board packet. In addition, trustees have received individual emails. We thank you for participating in this important process. I think all of us understand that responses to COVID-19, including the requirement of masks we are considering tonight, have been the subject of strong disagreements in our community and across the country. Many have strong feelings about this board's past decisions, since our primary focus here is narrow whether the mask requirement should be continued through the end of the school year. I encourage each of you to focus your comments constructively on that question. Given the degree of interest in this issue, the trustees are not able to accommodate all who may wish to speak. Tonight, we begin our meeting with 60 minutes of public comment, and we will hear from speakers who have submitted their interest to speak and signed up to speak through our board process. We will alternate speakers, listening to someone in favor of continuing the masking and then someone in favor of optional masking. We will alternate between the two groups, and each speaker will be giving no more than 3 minutes to address the trustees. There will be a clock countdown for that 3 minutes, and when it reaches 0, your time is up and your microphone will be turned off. This will allow us the best use of our time and ensure that the maximum number of persons can speak tonight. We will call your name and ask you to be prepared to speak at a microphone. The more efficient we can be in hearing comments, the more individuals we can hear from. At the conclusion of this public comment time, we have 3 guests that have been invited to share information with the trustees. A trustee asked for a legal opinion on masking. A trustee asked for clarification on the Southwest District Health Resolution. And we have invited the physician who has worked with the district from the beginning. After this information, the administration will share its recommendations. Trustees intend to deliberate and hopefully reach a decision on this important issue tonight. It's okay if you are upset or angry. However, we encourage all in this room to participate in this process with respect and civil discourse. The Nampa School District greatly appreciates the presence of the Nampa Police Department here tonight and its efforts to assure that we can receive constructive input in an atmosphere of safety and peace. I want everyone to understand that if we cannot proceed through the course of this meeting in a respectful manner that is consistent with the procedures I have outlined, the trustees will adjourn the meeting at any point. This would delay a decision until a later date. So I'm going to, through this process, I'm going to either call you to the microphone on your right or the microphone on the left. And I will say the person's name who will be up first, and then the next person, and we will go back and forth. Again, we're going to try to be as efficient as we can. If you speak less than 3 minutes, then we're going to keep rolling. So again, we can get to as many people on this list as we possibly can. Okay, so first at this microphone over here on the right will be, oh, sorry, that is zooming in is Stephen Hook. And then on this microphone on the left will be Addie Ashton as soon as Stephen is finished.
Even.
Stephen, can you hear us and unmute?
Yes, I can.
Excellent.
I apologize. I heard the wrong name. Did you call for Stephen Cook or Stephen Riley?
I called for Stephen Hook.
Then I think you have the wrong person on Zoom.
I have, Stephen, I have you just later in the list. So it's not like, it's not, is there not a Stephen Hook on there, Peter?
Nope, not yet.
No.
Okay. We'll put a hold. We're gonna then Veronica Fernandez up here at this microphone on the right. We're just gonna go to the next person if they're not here. Veronica Fernandez should be here in person. Okay. Addie Ashton, if you're here in person. Okay, let's try over here on the left, Lacey Johnson. Perfect.
Good evening. I would like to thank these brave officers over here for your service. I am here on behalf of my fourth grader. She is an amazing student, and we oppose the mask mandate. Our children have been through an incredible year, and they've accomplished so many things. And what I'm more concerned about is their mental health more than anything. This past year, they've been through the unimaginable hurdles. We've stripped them of their identities, isolated them from their friends, and put a tremendous weight on their shoulders that they are somehow responsible for other people's health. Suicide and depression has increased. Children are social creatures. They need that interaction. They need to see that facial expressions. They're losing confidence in things that make them smile. Adolescence is where you find yourself. Who are you? Give our kids back their confidence. I urge you to end the mandatory mask mandate, and at the very least, make it optional. This is not a one size fits all, to each their own, but I know this is not the right thing for my kid and so many others. Concern. I have a mother-in-law who has health concerns. She's been vaccinated. She's ready to get on with her life now. She does not wear a mask anymore because she's just tired of it. I want to read something from my daughter. She said, I would love if you got rid of the masks. I'm sick of it. I can't breathe in it. People are so tired, and I just want to be a normal kid again and see my friends smile. She had a homework assignment, and it was, how can we make schools better? You know what she said? Get rid of masks so I can see my friends and I can hear them again. And thank you. I hope you take into consideration everybody's opinions here, and I thank you for having this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up on the microphone over here on your right is Jacqueline Maldonado, please. Up next over here will be Abe Johnson.
Right here?
Sure, perfect.
This is my new friend here.
Yeah. He wrote a really nice letter here, and it basically sums up everything I came here to say. He took the time to write it. I was gonna go off the top of my head, so I'm gonna let him take my spot.
As I understand it, the school board asked the district just recently to survey parents and students about masking policy for the remainder of this school year, summer school, and the new school year in the fall. In the survey, there were only 3 option responses. 1, continue mandate to mandate masks as currently constituted. 2, mandate masks only in indoor and various areas. 3, have masks as optional, strongly recommended. I argue that these 3 possible survey responses represent an obvious and blatant bias. In particular, I take issue with the wording of the 3rd option and am confused as to why there wasn't a 4th and obvious option. End the mask mandate. The purpose of this survey is to ascertain the true feelings and opinions of district members. The wording of the 3rd option is to presuppose that district members who choose this option feel that while masks should be optional, they should also be strongly recommended. To word it this way puts words into survey takers' mouths, especially because there is no obvious 4th option for people to choose to end mask mandates. Some may argue that selecting the 3rd option is to voice support to end the mask mandates. This is true enough. But to select the 3rd option is to also support the idea that masks should be strongly recommended, which is extremely misleading. School board members and district officials might misunderstand such a statistic to mean that something completely different from the possible intent of the responders. Let's say for sake of argument, 60% of the survey takers selected optional, strongly recommended. The district that used that vote as a pretext to say that 60% of the district constituents believe that masks should be strongly recommended, and that therefore support for mask wearing is still overwhelming in the majority. Such a statement would only be a partial and misleading truth. The survey presented to you tonight will not represent the true feelings of those that took the survey, and certainly not mine. I'll be really quick. I'm against the mask mandate moving forward. With that said, please don't misunderstand. My wife and I have both been vaccinated and agree that masks are helpful to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and are admirers generally of the scientific method. We believe, however, the time for masking precautions has ended. I'm not alone in feeling this way. Many feel that way as well. Pediatric mortality rates for COVID-19 is low, between 0 and 0.03%, depending on the state. That's between 0 and 10,000 and 3 and 10,000 people who contract COVID-19. It's much less if you consider the overall number of children versus an overall number of deaths. In Idaho, there have been 0 deaths from COVID-19 under the age of 24. Hold on, I got 18 seconds. Nationally, there were only 179 pediatric COVID-19 deaths, which is on par with what occurs historically with pediatric influenza, 188 nationally in 2017 and 18. Listen, some may argue that I'll just say this: the opportunity to protect yourself and your loved ones at risk or not.
Your time. I'm gonna ask that you. Sorry, yeah, we do need a name, sir, so we know. Thank you. Second, I get that you want to show your support, and I understand it's hard for us to hear, and we don't want to infringe on anyone's time. I'm asking respectfully, these are the rules of our meeting. If you can't abide by them, we will adjourn this meeting and be done. So please be respectful of each person's time. And this time is here for us to listen to those that are at the microphone. Okay? Scott Sprague, over here on the microphone on the right. I see somebody moving. Oh. Jackie Johnson.
JC Johnson.
Sorry, JC Johnson.
That's okay. Thanks. It happens all the time. Real quick, I'm just wondering if you guys got my email. I didn't send it through the form. Okay, perfect. I've emailed my comments to the board, like I said, and they've read them. My arguments tonight for keeping students in masks at school are full of numbers and facts, data and recommendations by Southwest District Health and the CDC. My feelings are that children deserve to go to school in a safe environment and shouldn't have to give up their own rights to attend school in person because they want to stay healthy. My kids have had no issues with wearing masks all day at school, despite having very sensitive skin and asthma. Masks aren't 100% effective on their own. It takes everyone wearing a mask to drop the risk enough to keep each other safe. The long-term effects of COVID are only beginning to be cataloged and studied. We don't know what this new virus might lead to later on. I realize there's risk involved in crossing the street, driving, flying, boating, skiing, playing soccer, all things my children enjoy. Of course there's risk. There's risk to staying inside and never doing anything too. But we make educated decisions about the risks we take, and we use whatever strategies or mitigation factors we can to minimize obvious risks. We wear seatbelts, life jackets, helmets. We don't drink and we don't drive at the same time. We wash our hands after using the restroom and before eating and cooking. Why? Because we know these things can help keep us safer and healthier than if we don't. The same for masks. I give my children choices when it makes sense, when the consequences won't cause lifelong problems. As an adult and as a parent, my job is to teach and protect my kids. I make the decisions for my children when it comes to things that might affect them long term. This is a decision where what our kids want isn't as important as what our kids need. Masks prevent the spread of COVID, making it safer for our kids to go to school with their peers and to learn. Masks can prevent our kids from long-term health problems or organ damage. Why wouldn't we want to protect our kids from things we don't yet know the consequences of? All of our kids have the right to go to school for these next 2 weeks. My own kids have the right to visit their 93-year-old great-grandparents over Memorial Day without unnecessary fear of passing on this virus to a vulnerable person. Your kids have the right to attend graduations and summer trips without worrying about getting quarantined due to someone else's choices. Our masks actually give us the freedom to choose our own activities with less effect on others. Case numbers in schools in Canyon County have gone up in the past week, from 31 cases last week to 48 cases as of Monday, according to Southwest District Health. The group of parents fighting masks tonight is a small group, representing maybe 7% of the students in Nampa schools. That's if they represent 1,000 different kids. The trustees' code of ethics state they will not be swayed by special interest groups, and they will keep all kids in mind as they make decisions regarding their education and their health. My son wants to finish building his robot to test next week. Families want to enjoy the summer. Please make the decision.
Sorry, this meeting is adjourned.